Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2015 Jeep Cherokee, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster battery charge line kit for towed vehicles. So we're going to have a total of 5 main components needed to flat tow our Cherokee down the road. The first one's going to be the base plate. Now that base plate is going to provide us with a solid and reliable connection point. That way we can hook our tow bar up to it. That tow bar is going to be the second component. This is going to be the physical link that's connecting the front of our Jeep to the back of our motorhome. The third main component is going to be tow bar wiring. So that tow bar wiring is going to transfer the lighting functions from the back of our motorhome to the back of our Cherokee. That way not only we can stay safe but legal as well. The fourth main component is going to be safety cables. Now these are there in the event of an unlikely disconnect. These are going to keep the Jeep connected to your motorhome. And last but not least, the fifth main component is going to be our braking system. So the braking system is going to apply the brakes in our Jeep whenever we apply the brakes in the motorhome, helping to bring us to a more safe and predictable stop. So just to kind of set up a situation where a battery charge line kit is really going to come in handy. Whenever you're towing your Jeep, your braking system is going to use your Jeep's battery to operate. It's going to need some of that power. So after hours of driving down the road and little by little your braking system is using your Jeep's battery power, eventually it's going to drain it down. So let's say you get to your destination, you go to unhook your Jeep, and it won't start. Your battery's completely drained. That's going to be a big hassle. You're going to have to get your jumper cables out or a jump box, maybe bother someone else next to you, let the Jeep run. It's just something you want to avoid. And the charge line kit is going to eliminate that. The way the charge line kit is going to work is it's going to use power when your motorhome is running. So your motorhome is going to send some voltage back here. It's going to go through a breaker, and that breaker is there to eliminate any back feeding. But it's going to go through that breaker and over to your positive battery terminal. So more or less, it's going to trickle charge your battery as you're driving. That way, whenever your braking system does use that battery power, the battery is going to be replenished from our charge line kit, and we're not going to have to worry about it being dead whenever we get to our destination. So in all honesty, not really too much to the charge line kit. It's a small component, but a really important one. It's going to give you that peace of mind knowing when you get to your destination, your Jeep's going to fire up and you can continue on with your adventure. Now, as far as the installation goes, it's really not that bad. It doesn't take a whole lot of time at all. And the trade-off to me is well worth it. Spending a little time getting this hooked up, not to have to deal with getting jumper cables out and everything if your Jeep does die when you get to where you're going. But speaking of that installation, let's go ahead and wire it up together now. To begin our install, the first thing that we're going to do is hook up our red wire to the back of our 6-way connector. Now I have my front fascia removed right now just because I'm in the middle of installing other flat tow components and it makes life a little bit easier. You don't need to have the fascia gone to get this job complete. With that being said, we'll take our 6-way connector here. I'll just pull off my dust cap to expose the terminals underneath. And the terminal that we're going to use will be this one right here in the center. So I'll take a Phillips head screwdriver and loosen up that set screw. Don't want to take it all the way out. Then I'll grab one end of my red wire. If you have a dust cap on your 6-way, definitely want to feed that wire through it first. I'm going to hold everything together here. I'm going to take the red wire and strip some of it back to expose the bare metal underneath. I like to just give them wires a twist. And then it's as simple as taking that bare end, sliding it into the terminal, and then just tightening down the set screw. So what I went ahead and did was route our red wire into the engine compartment up close to the battery, and this is the path I took to get there. I just kind of went up, over our base plate here. Just continued to follow it, kind of behind our headlight, and there's a little pocket there where the wire is able to pass up into the engine compartment. So in the engine compartment here, here's where our wire came out, right next to the battery. And what I'm going to do is just kind of let that sit tight for now, and we can focus on mounting up our breaker. So you want to put this relatively close to the battery, but out of the way. And on this little piece of metal here, I think I'm going to mount it right there. So since it's bent, I did just take a pair of pliers and kind of bend that tab to conform to it a little bit better. And what we're going to use to secure it is the included self-tapping screws. So I'll grab a couple of them and mount it up to this bracket. With our breaker mounted up, what we're going to do is take these nuts off. Be careful you don't want to drop them and lose them. And if we take our wire here, our red wire that we ran up from our 6-way, this is going to get connected to this gold post. The gold post is labeled battery, so you would think you would run this to our Jeep's battery, but that's not the case. So be sure you hook our wire up to the gold post down to the 6-way, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut it to length. Just strip that wire back. Give it a good twist. We're going to crimp on one of our smaller ring terminals. And crimp it down. So once that ring terminal is crimped on there, we'll slide it over our gold post. Replace the nut. Get it hand tight here. And I can come in with a 3/8 socket and snug it down. So that piece of red wire that we have left over, we're going to do one end of it. We'll strip back and crimp on another small ring terminal just like we did the other one. This end here will go over our silver post. Put that nut on, run it down, and tighten it up. Once this is tight, the other end of our wire, it's actually going to run over to our positive battery terminal. So I kind of just routed it underneath our washer tank here and over to this side. Our positive battery terminal is. Just strip back that end. What we're going to do is take the larger ring terminal that's included. So we'll slide over it. And we'll crimp it down. So this ring terminal's going to get connected right here to the positive battery terminal. I'll take a 10mm socket and take that nut off. Now sometimes these nuts aren't designed to come completely off. If that's the case, you'll feel it just kind of stop. And indeed, that is our case. So instead of trying to deal with that, what we're going to do is just take our ring terminal and just cut kind of a little slot in it. want it just big enough to kind of fit around the stud there. So we'll take that, slide it in there, hold it in place, and then we'll just tighten our nut back down. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Roadmaster battery charge line kit for towed vehicles on our 2015 Jeep Cherokee.